Hey, welcome to Ray of Light. So on this video production adventure, we are shooting wrestling, and beforehand we're gonna do some interviews, and I've got a brand new light to do it. This is the Aputure Amaran 200XS. This is a 200 watt light that we're gonna be using as our key light. Just put my boom up real quick, and I'm gonna pop this 90 centimeter softbox on it, and that's gonna be what is our key light for the interviews right here. I also blocked off this overhead light with some paper and some tape. And then I have the Pseudophoto P100 RGB light facing towards the background, of course shooting on the Sony FX6. And I also forgot to mention I'm using the Aputure 60X up here as an edge light, and that is getting me the look that looks like this. And then I can just swap out my RGB and get different looks. And then outside by the ring, I have a Sony FX3 up on a C stand that's getting me my overhead shot, and then I'm gonna shoot everything else handheld on the FX6. This is the Amaran 200XS. It's a new and improved version of the original 200X. This one has improved SSI scores and TLCI scores, which means it has a little bit better color reproduction than the original series that came out. This is also a super powerful 200 watt bi-color fixture. So it also links up with the Sidus LInk app and all of your Aputure fixtures. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into this light. Welcome to episode 4 of Ray of Light, and I'm your host, Ray Valencia, and just your friendly neighborhood filmmaker. I'm actually a director of photography and videographer based out of Florida, and in this series, it's all about lighting gear tips and tutorials, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe for future episodes. But I'll have links to everything down in the description below if you want to check out different parts of the video or jump to a specific section, because here's a list of all the things that we're gonna go over in this video. But this light is actually made by Amaran, which is a side project basically of Aputure. So with this new Amaran 200XS, it has an SSI score of 89, which is an improvement over the original. It also has a TLCI score of 98 and a CRI score of 95. So what all this means is that the color reproduction is a little bit more accurate than it was on the first series. So let's go ahead and jump into my super non-scientific CCT test with the CCT and LUX meter. And the results are really good, only about 100 degrees off between the different temperatures going through the Sidus LInk app and the light meter on the dartboard. But if you want to see my results with and without the hyper reflector, pause the video right here. Color reproduction and power output are both really important, especially whenever you have a bright background. So we'll do some test shots with a bright background, and the color squares represent my skin and my shirt. And here's the Zhiyun Mollis X100 against the 200X. 100% brightness compared to the Aputure 60X at 100% brightness. Doesn't quite do it. A 60 watt Godox daylight fixture is a little bit brighter, but still not quite there yet. Now the Colbor 60R, which is an RGB light, this has a lot less output. Now we're comparing the Pseudophoto P100, which is the light I ended up using on the RGB background. Now here's a comparison with the 200 watt Amaran on the right against two 100 watt lights on the left. That takes care of some technical stuff and some light comparisons. Now let's look at the physical qualities of this light. All right, so first let's take a look at the case for the Amaran 200XS. This is the case. It's just styrofoam that it came in the box. Yeah, there is no case, so that is one downside for this, is that I'm having to use. So I've just been throwing the foam kits inside a big Pelican case and, you know, kind of going with it like this. So that is one thing you sacrifice. You don't get the nice Lightstorm series case like you do with the Aputure lights. All right, now on to the light stand mount. The 200XS has mostly metal construction on the light stand mount, and it's the only one in the series that has a built-in umbrella holder, which is really useful for photography and quick setups. But it has a metal inside, which is the most important part. So the receiver is actually steel enforced inside there. The light stand mount does allow you to tilt all the way up and all the way down, and then you have this really nice big Aputure branded tightening lever on the side. And this is the nicest tightening lever that we've actually looked at here in the series. So you're able to get your full hand on there and really just give that a good crank, and it feels solid. So the Amaran lights are more of this lightweight, hard plastic material, but it does look nice and metallic, looks nice and professional as well. Large vents in the top for dissipating heat, and the fan is very quiet. There's also vents on the bottom here, but the Aputure lights in the Lightstorm series are made mostly of metal. These are more of that lightweight construction and more of the plasticky build. So you have the more budget Amaran series, and then you have the more premium Lightstorm series from Aputure. All right, so the cable is super long. You have 5 feet for this Edison plug portion of it that goes to the wall. And then you have an additional 9 feet of cable from the power adapter right here up to the light fixture. So you can hang this part low and have your light up really high with this nice cable length. And then it has a professional locking pin here. We'll go right in here and you press a button and pop it out. So although there is no way to battery power this light, you do have a super long cable, and my favorite thing about the power supply is actually this metal safety chain. So you're actually able to hang your power supply right on the light stand. All right, so very quickly, let's talk about how to use the Amaran 200XS. Simple power switch. The operation of this light is very simple and easy to use. You have your CCT, so you can go all the way down to 2700 Kelvin and go all the way up to 6500 Kelvin. This button also jumps through a couple different presets: 2700, 32, 4300, 5600, and 6500 Kelvin. Really cool that you can just jump through the presets like that on the fly, or you can just dial it in at any given moment right here. On your second dial, this is how you can actually dial in your intensity, and you can go all the way down to 1%. And then you can hit this button to jump in between different increments of 20%. And then you have the Bluetooth reset button, and you just hold that until you get 100% successful. Alternatively, you can use the Sidus LInk app. I'm able to control all of my Aputure and Amaran fixtures in one app. Like I have the 600X back there, I have the Aputure 60X, the B7C light bulb, and now I have the 200XS, all running from the same Sidus LInk app. So now I can just hit add new fixture, hit the 200XS, and we're good to go. Now we have full control over the 200XS, and we're able to dial in a couple different presets and CCT. You can dial in your dimming curves, your intensity, you can turn the light off and on. And then we have this source match here. Let's say we want to match with our light up above, 4650. So there you go, you're able to match any light that you want. And then you have the different effects here, and you're really able to dial these in if you start going through the manual settings and get into these. The Sidus LInk app is far more advanced than any other app that I've seen, so it's just crazy with all the different things that you can do in here. All right, next we're gonna be taking a closer listen to the fan noise here in the 200XS. So here we are in the worst possible condition. I have the light 16 inches away from the camera, and you are hearing the light at 100% brightness. It's been on for a while. It's actually a little bit warm right here, and I can feel the air coming out of the top. So let's take a listen to it at this distance. Now this is what it sounds like with the light off. So is it a huge difference? Here is without the light. Now here is with the light. If you can't hear the fan in these conditions, then it's definitely not a problem for doing any kind of interviews or anything like that. So I, for one, am really digging this Amaran 200XS. I believe I'll be adding a couple more of these lights in the series to my kit. Just having a 200-watt light just means that this can overtake my key light in most situations indoors. I could also use this as a nice, powerful window light, lighting up a background. And the fact that it's bicolor and super powerful means that you can use it in a variety of situations, whether you're shooting close to window daylight or you're inside an interior place where all the lighting is tungsten and you just want your white balance to match on your talent. So really cool budget option, and the fact that it pairs up with all my Aputure lights in the Sidus LInk app makes this a really valuable tool in my kit. So I'll have links to everything down in the description below if you guys are interested in checking this out. Leave me a comment if you have questions about anything at all. Shoot for the stars, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next episode of Ray of Light.